What's going on, guys? Tomcat here, and today I'm bringing you a drift build of the Hyundai Veloster Turbo in Forza 4. Now, the Hyundai Veloster Turbo is a pretty interesting car, and I definitely would not have tried it if one of my subscribers, Michael B450, hadn't suggested it to me, because, I mean, it's a front-wheel drive car and it's a Hyundai, so it's not really a car that's, you know, that the drifting community is very into. But, I mean, Hyundai does have their drift car, the Genesis Coupe, but this car doesn't really get that much attention, and I think it should be getting a little bit more. I think it deserves a little bit more attention because it's a very interesting car to drift. When you swap it to rear-wheel drive and obviously, you know, boost up the power a little bit like you saw in the build, it's interesting. It's not as smooth as as that Renault that front-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive swap Renault that I did a drift build of a while back. But the weird thing about this car is that even when you convert it to rear-wheel drive, it still has this odd pull from the front end, and I'm not sure why that's happening. Maybe it's because the car was originally set up to be front-wheel drive, and maybe it's because of the way the chassis is set up. I'm not exactly sure, but what I do know is that this car has a habit of whipping, and not in a good way. The front end will whip, like right there, the front end, like it felt normal, and then boom, the front end decided to go make a lot farther of a left turn than I had originally intended it to. It's a weird setup because it's very snappy, and don't get me wrong, it holds a good amount of angle, but you always have to be ready for that front end to get crazy and snap the opposite direction, because it will. Trust me, it will. It did it to me a bunch of times in this race, and I'm constantly having to correct it, which means it's not going to be that effective of a drift car, but it is pretty fun to use because of the challenge that it brings to the table. I mean, if you're used to drifting stuff that's, you know, always easy and always, you know, you're completely able to put it in the place or direction that you want it to be in, you know, like for example the Camaro ZL1, for example. This is nothing like that. This is very twitchy. This is very challenging. It's not a smooth drift car at all. You have to, you as a driver have to make it smooth. You have to really force it to be smooth. It's not one of those cars that goes with you. It's one of those cars that's, it almost seems like it's always trying to mess you up, or just and you drift this, nobody else is going to be using it. Now, one thing I do want to mention before the video finishes is that I did need to modify third gear a little bit, because the original third gear gear ratio was absolutely horrible for drifting, and I had to change it in order to make it work. I just made it a little bit, I moved it up a little bit, so basically that's the only part of the build that you guys did not see. So if you guys enjoyed that video, don't forget to hit the like button, tell me in the comments section below what you thought of it, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more.